Welcome back, guys, to KY Coins and Collectibles. And what you see here is what I'm going to talk about today. A little bit of silver and a little bit of gold, and what kind of investments they are and how good they are of investments. And I'm going to be speaking from my from my perspective and what I've done with it over the last 7-8 years and what kind of return I've made off of it. I know a lot of people have different types of investments, and gold and silver is always brought up as a good investment, and it is. I mean, I say that right now. I mean, I think it is, and that's why I make these videos. But I want to show you all what it's done for me in the last 7 or 8 years. And I've got some paperwork here I'm going to show you. So I've been investing in silver and gold for probably 15 years. But in the last 7 or 8 years, I started buying it and looking more at it as an investment instead of like a hobby. Because at first, I really liked just my silver coins and was into numismatics, but of course it kind of transitions back and forth, and there was a period around 2015 to 17 that I was buying just silver and gold as an investment and basically buying it to stack and hopefully watch it go up in value and sell it. Well, here it is, May 14th, 2024, and I've still got the stuff. I've never sold it, so I guess I'm a stacker and I like to hold on to stuff, and I'm a collector. It's hard for me to sell stuff, and I've not really been in a position where I needed to sell it yet. I have sold some, but you don't really sell the stuff if you're a collector until something happens, like your hot water heater blows up, or you have a car maintenance repair, or just some type of emergency you need to liquidate and get $200 to $1,000. And that's kind of what it is for me. It's kind of emergency fund, very liquid. You can take it and get your money back, or pretty much whatever you got in it, you can pretty much get back. And that's how it's been for me. But I'll take this video a little one step farther. And I've tried to keep all my paperwork, and I try to be an advocate for keeping up with what you have invested in this stuff. So if you buy something, write down what you paid for it. Like I showed you all on some coins, and I've got a coin journal, and don't just do this for your benefit. Do it for your spouse, your children. I've got a really good video on that, and I'm going to try to post it up here in the corner. And I believe it's called What Happens When Your Coin Collection Outlives You, or something like that. But I'll post a video. I'll post it up there in the corner. So this is kind of another way of showing you what an investment in gold and silver can do. So I'll show you my receipts, and that's what I'm going to show you. So I've got 3 things here. I mean, just 3 items that I bought at separate times, and I bought them all kind of around the same time. I got a sheet of 10 1-ounce bars, and they are the Sunshine Mint, and they've got the little eagle on them. And I've got 10 of those. As you can see, they're still wrapped up. Never took them out. Just took care of them. I've had these since 2016. And I've got this 10-ounce bar. It's a APMEX 10 ounce. I'll let you look at it there. And I'm not right now I'm not really into stacking straight bullion. I'm more into numismatics right now, but I really just wanted to make this video because I was going through my safe and safety deposit boxes and just kind of looking through stuff, and I'd come across these receipts, and I was like, man, that would be a perfect video to show people what buying gold and silver can do over the long run. I don't think it's really a short-term game, of course. I mean, most stuff isn't. I mean, if it's too good to be true, it's usually not real. So a lot of this stuff, and I'll compare it to some of the stocks I buy too, because I buy stocks, and I've told you before, I have multiple investments going on, and that's between my stacking, my coins, real estate, just regular 401k, other stuff like knives. I'd showed you before, some knives, stocks, CDs, a savings account at what little they draw, which ain't nothing, which I know some people don't like to use banks or anything like stocks or banks, CDs or anything, but most people, all they have is a 401k and savings account and a bunch of silver saved up, and honestly, I don't think I'm going to. I think that I'm going to be around for a long time. I'm investing like I'm going to be 70 and 80 one day, and I want multiple streams of investments. Now, I don't put all my investments in one basket, like they say, don't put all your eggs in one basket, but I do try to spread out my investments, and it's changed over the years as I've gotten older. When you're younger, you don't really think about being 50, 60, or 70, or even 40. I mean, when you're 16, 25, you just kind of think about the moment, and you don't save or invest like you should. I know a lot of people on here may, but normal people don't. A high percentage of people, it would be a better word. But I think this video will really open your eyes to gold and silver, and maybe a different version of investment that you've never thought of before. So this silver bar, or a gold bar here, I've had this since 2016, I believe, as well. I think I bought all these within a few months of each other, and I had money saved up for a long time, and I just kind of realized that silver was down, gold was down, and I got some good deals on it. So what I'll show you first is, I'll save the gold for later, and this is it is an ounce, and it's 1 ounce, 1 troy ounce, 0.999 fine gold, 24 karat, 100% gold. But we'll save that one for last, and I'll show you, let me see, I've got it wrote out here. I made my little list I'm going to show you and how I kind of calculated it. But I mean, I'm very impressed with my return over the last, say, 7 years. But again, this is a long-term investment. You're not going to get rich overnight on anything, and if you're just stacking here and there, you're not going to get rich off gold and silver either. So don't think that, unless you're buying hundreds of thousands worth of dollars of it. But most of us ain't. I'm not. I mean, $1,000 here and there is a lot. More like $50 here or a couple hundred there. That's more my scale. But when you do get enough and you can save up and buy something like this gold bar, and gold's up right now. But let me get to it. I know I'm kind of all over the place, but let me get my receipts here. I'll do the 10-ounce bar. So here's my receipt, and I've got it folded nice here so y'all can't see my address. I want you to see the date. 7/7/2016. July 7th, 2016. So that was, let me see if I wrote down how many days ago that was. I had it wrote down here, but as you can see here at Mex, I ordered this one off eBay, I believe, and it's a 10-ounce, and I'll show you. 10-ounce, won $206. $206 for this is what I paid. You can see it. I've had this since 2016, and let me see if it says July 7th. That is 7 years and 10 months. I've had this bar for 7 years and 10 months. Let me write that down. And this is the receipt it came with. And like I said, I think it was eBay that eBay stored. So 7 years, 10 months. Okay, so with that being said, $206.70, $206.70. So I'm not going to look at what spot was at that time. I'm just going to base it off what I paid. So spot today, May 14th, 2024, spot right now is around $28.62. So if you times that, there's 10 ounces here. If you times that by 10, more or less spot for 10 ounces would be $286.20. $286.20. You know you're not going to buy this bar for spot, but to make it simple, I'm just timesing it by 10 ounces. So this is $208.20. I bought it for $206.70. So my return on 7 years and 10 months from 7/7/2016 to today on this 10-ounce bar at spot value, today's spot versus what I paid for it, is 38%, 38.46% return on this bar in 7 years, almost 8 years. I've made almost, say, 39%, 38% return on this bar. Now, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. And I've preserved wealth and I've made money off of it. Are there better investments than that? Of course, a lot better. Now, with that being said, I'm not a financial advisor. This is just basing it off of my kind of what I've done, what I've seen. So I love silver and gold, but that's a good return. But like I said, are there better ones? Of course, but that is based on your risk tolerance. Do you want to go out and buy stocks? No, you don't like the risk of it. That's okay. Can you probably get a better return on stocks? Of course you can. But do you like being able to hold? And that's one thing I know a lot of you guys like out there, and gals. You like being able to hold it. My stocks are on my phone. More or less, they're just they're digital. And that's where a lot of your risk tolerance comes into play. And I know it's a broad spectrum, but I'm going to do the gold. The gold really narrows the investment difference from the stocks and the gold. They're closer, so gold has been a lot better for me. But I'm just starting with this silver. So it's your risk tolerance, or what you believe is going to happen in the future. 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now. I know a lot of people that watch my videos are 45, 50 and older, and they may have a different outlook on it now versus somebody that's 30, 35 or 25. So I'm just showing you the numbers. I'm not going to say one way or another. How you want to invest is up to you and how you feel comfortable with where you put your money. You can either sleep good or eat good. That's how I've been told. So but it's really not. It's not black or white. There's a lot of gray, and I like the gray. I like to do gold and silver and coins and stocks and other stuff. Like I said before, you got CDs that are getting 4% that are FDIC secured at banks up to $250,000. But if you don't trust banks, you don't. That's another risk tolerance. So I do like physically holding it. I mean, this is in my hand right now. I mean, I've got this. I know if a lot of people don't like banks right now. We've had a lot going on with them in the last few years. I mean, it's a fiat currency, but I hate to say that if you predict something long enough, it's going to happen. But people have been talking about banks failing for over 100 years. I mean, they've come back. I mean, the stock market has crashed. We've gone through wars. We've gone through a lot worse stuff than we're going through now, and it's still around. So, I mean, we've gone through 2 world wars. We've gone through a lot of stuff, and the stock market's still here. We still have our banks here. But, of course, like I said, you predict something long enough, far enough into the future, you keep predicting it over and over, eventually it's going to happen, and everybody's going to be like, oh, I told you so. It's like, well, they've been saying that for the last 100 years. So there's that. But like I said, I like to diversify. I'm not taking up for gold or silver or the banks or the stock market or real estate. You got to be all over the place. And I feel like most of everybody's like that. And honestly, my opinion on it, if you like it or not, is if the stock market crashes and the banks belly up and it gets that bad, I don't think you're really going to be worried about your money. You're going to be worried about protecting what's yours. You're going to be worried about, the BBB, bullets, bottled water, and beans. So that's what you're going to be worried about if the stock market crash and the banks go belly up and everybody loses their mind. It's going to be bad. So there's that. I mean, that's just kind of my opinion on it. I mean, So, but I love silver and gold. I diversify. And I know I got a lot of older people on here, and I hope they kind of will voice their opinions in the comments and say, people were scared back in the 30s and 40s and even in the Depression, all the way up through the 42 during the war and up to the Vietnam War and then the financial crash in 2008, Y2K 2000. Multiple times it was going to be really bad, but here we are. So I think the world's going to keep on ticking. They'll just print more money. They'll just do whatever they have to keep it floating by. So with all that said, I'm going to keep going here. I know that's enough of my little rant, but I think it's just valuable information. I know you all are very smart. If you're watching a gold and silver and numismatic channel, you're financially inclined. You know about all this stuff. I'm not really a hate the bank type guy, and I hate the stock market, and it's been around longer than we have. But anyways, let's do the gold. The gold you'll really enjoy. So here we are, and basically the 10-ounce bars were the same as the 10 ounce. I just broke it down into ounces from the 10 ounce. Spot, basically when I bought this bar, an ounce, I'm not going to say spot was at $20, but when I bought this bar for $206.70 back in 2016, I divided that number by 10, and I got $20.67, which is what I paid for an ounce. And I'm sure it was lower than that because I probably paid a premium for that. And so it was probably under $20 at the time. But today it's at $28.62. You've almost made it was almost $8 an ounce is what I've made off that. Almost $8 an ounce. So that's not bad. And to me, it's been worth it. It's been a good investment. I've not had to worry about this bar because it's either set in my safe, it's either been in the lockbox. It's been there. It's not going to be affected by anything. I know I've got a 10-ounce silver bar sitting there, and that's what it's going to be. And I keep up with my receipts so I can show where I bought it, when I bought it, and I can keep up with my investments a little better. And again, my family, if something happens to me, they can look in the safe, lockbox, wherever you want to keep it, bury it in the backyard, under the mattress, whatever you want to do. They'll know. So this gold bar I bought from the United States Gold Bureau. And again, I've got it folded here. My address is up under it. Bought this one 12/16/2016. So the same year, just a few months later, December 16th, 2016. So look what I paid for it. 1 ounce gold bar, 24 karat. It is $1138.95. Man, don't you wish you could buy that gold bar for that right now? Because, and like I said, this is the receipt. I've kept this whole time. I've kept that for almost 8 years. So I'm gonna set it over to the side. You've seen that. $1138.95 is what I paid for this gold 1 ounce bar. So up top here, spot today, right now, which is 5/14/2024, is $23.57.48, $2,357.48. A difference of $1218.53. So $1,000, $1,218.53 is the difference in what I've made. So from December 16th, 2016 through today, May 14th, 2024, I've made $1218.53, and that's 106.99% return, ROI, return on investment. $106 or 106%, we'll say 107% return on this gold bar. Now that's a lot better investment. And I mean, and back then I thought $1,100 was, that's high. I didn't have a lot of money, but I had enough saved up, put to the side, that I know it was down. And that's probably not what spot was. Spot was below 1138, what I paid for it. So gold maybe was around $1,000, and I thought it was really low, and I thought it was going to go up. And like I said, I bought it and just put it up, and here I am looking at it 7 years and 4 months later, and I think 106%, 107% return is really good. So I'm sure any of y'all, every one of you, would buy gold right now for $1,100. Now that shows you the difference in gold and silver. But with that said, this has been, I wish I had bought 100 of them, but of course you can't. But that's a good return right there. That's really good. And it didn't take up much room. Look at the difference. All this versus that. A big difference. This is a lot heavier. If I thought it was such a good deal, I probably should have bought more gold, but I didn't. Like I said, I was at my risk tolerance. I just wanted to buy one, and that's all the money I had. But I'm very happy I bought what I did, because that's a great return. Now, with that being said, I'm going to show you what my Vanguard has done in the same period, in the last 7 years and 4 months. I buy Vanguard, an S&P 500 stock. It just tracks the top 500 companies, and its ticker symbol is VOO. That's Vanguard S&P 500. The same time with it has had 138% return. That's pretty good. That's really good for almost 8 years, 7.5 years, we'll say. 7 years and 4 months. So my stocks, and I'd bought stocks then, so I'm very happy I'd done that, because here we are. I'm still alive, and the stock market hasn't crashed in the last 8 years, and I've made 138% off of it. And what I'm really getting at is, if you look at this whole page, I got 106% return, a 38 or a 39% return, and 138% return. So 38, 106, 138. Them are all good investments. I've made money on all of them. That's awesome. You look at it, everything I've done, I've made money, and that's really the whole point of this video, is diversify, and don't just put all your eggs in one basket, because either one of these, something could have happened, and I didn't really track my real estate. I do have some real estate rentals. They have been good. The rentals have been good. So they've done good too. And I just want to kind of show you all that there's multiple streams of investments. Diversify. That's the word of the day, diversify. But I've been very happy with my stocks. And even my 401k, I mean, I've had it, and I think I looked at it today. Since the beginning of the year, I'm at 4 or 5%. And I'm in a little riskier because I'm younger, like 35. So, and I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just giving you my experience and based off what I've done and how it's treated me over the last 7 to 15 years. I have been buying stocks since 2015. We went through since 2020 we had a bad spell with COVID, so that was a big 30% hit, and for me, I wasn't really worried about it because I know I had time for my investments to come back. Now that's a little different for people that are 65, 75, and they're looking to retire. You take a hit like that, you're jumping out the window. I mean, you're panicking, you're jumping ship, but because they just didn't have as long of time for it to come back, and it's come back. If you've got good investments and they go down, they'll come back, and that's kind of what I'm getting at. I know I've not really showed you a lot of different stuff today, but I hope I've kind of gave you a good base of knowledge for investments, and like I said, I love my silver and my gold and my coins and my Morgans, my sets. I think they're all good investments, but I'm not going to rely on my Morgan silver dollar set to get me through retirement. That'd just be silly. Do I think it's going to hold its value and I'll be able to sell it and make money? Of course I will. Is it going to put me through retirement and pay for all my medical expenses later on and keep my bills up? No, it's not. It's not going to at all. That's where I don't even think about Social Security anymore. I think it's not really even supposed to replace your income really at all, just a small percentage of it. And get on the Social Security website and put your information in, and kind of it'll calculate based off like how long you've worked, what you paid in. It'll tell you what you're expected to draw in retirement. And even if you're 18, 19, 20, 25, you need to be doing that stuff, because I wish I would have invested as soon as I turned 18. I wish I would have started investing a little harder in my future. And I know it's hard to tell a 18-year-old or 21-year-old that, but that's my advice. Here I am. I didn't think it either, and here I am, 35, and still alive. And a lot of people here that are watching, when they're 70, 60s, they probably thought the same thing, and now they wish they could have invested more or diversified a little better. Or you're not going to live off Social Security. Even if there is a Social Security, you can't live off of it. $12, $13, $14, $1,500 a month is nothing. I mean, you can't keep up with inflation. So if you work and you got a 401k, at least do the match. If they're matching 4 or 5%, you better be at least doing that. If not, more. You need to be doing 10 to 15% invested in your 401k. This is my advice. Again, I'm not a professional. No means necessary. I'm just trying to help you out. This is what I do. 10 to 15% in your 401k. Save some money for emergency fund. About 6 months worth of emergency money. If you need $6,000 to live for 6 months, save it. Put it in a savings account and don't touch it. Do your research on some stocks, maybe an S&P 500. I like Vanguard, S&P 500, VOO is the ticker symbol. It's just go to it and pull up a 5-year, 10-year chart. I mean, it's had great returns. It's got low fees. It's an all-around good fund. Now, this is what I do at my age. Now, I can't. This is different for somebody if you're watching and you're 50 or 60 and 70 years old. You may not want to have something as volatile, that up and down, up and down, up and down. You want more bonds or something. But what I'm really getting at is just do your research on stocks. They've been a really good investment for me. And I really don't see a lot of people in silver and numismatic and gold and precious metals really talk about it, because I think they're they don't know if they don't really know about it or have invested in much or are afraid of it. I mean, if you've got a 401k at your job, at your work, you're pretty much invested in the stock market. So I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't like the stock market, and I'm like, well, you got a 401k? Yeah, okay, well, you're invested in the stock market pretty much, usually through a mutual fund. But Vanguard has been the best for me, and it's a long-time, well-known brand, and everybody knows what the S&P 500, it's your top 500 companies. I mean, it's got all your long-time companies that have been around for a long, long time in it. It's done good for me. So, I said 401k, stocks, a CD. Banks are secured FDIC up to $250,000. And a lot of times you can get a 4% CD or a 5 or even a 3.5%. That's pretty good. That's not bad. Now that's if you trust banks, or if you don't, you may want to go with real estate. Maybe try to buy something small and a little rental, or just have another stream of income, because like I said, Social Security is not going to get you through retirement, and it's not going to get you to the end. It might, but you ain't going to be living. You're going to be living bare minimum. No trips, no more buying gold and silver. You're going to be paying the electric bill and internet bill, and that's about it, and buying groceries. So stocks, real estate, 401k, gold, silver, these are all great investments. And that's kind of what I wanted to do in this video, is just kind of show you a big picture of investments, not just one-sided. For me, this is what I like to do. I invest in multiple things, and I just wanted to show you it works. It works for me, and it works for my tolerance level, my risk level. This stuff does go up and down. I know silver's in the last 6 weeks, it's gone from $24 to $28, so that's a big jump. But I like it, I believe in it. I think silver is going to go up. It's going to go down. I think it's going to go up. That's what it all does. It all goes up and down. Time is the best investment, but it depends. A lot of people don't have a lot of time to invest. If you're older, you should have been invested already. It's like they say, the best time to plant a tree is 15 years ago or today. So you can't go back in time and start investing. You just got to do it today. But time, this really just shows that time with the right choices will give you can reap good benefits from it and good returns. I hope y'all like this video. I mean, I really enjoy this topic because I like investing and I like buying stuff that I know hopefully here in another 10 years or another 7 years, I'm making this same video and I'm saying, here we are, guys. It's gone up another $7 an ounce. So it's stayed at its 38%, and gold's gone up another $1,000. It's up another 100%. I think that's what's going to happen. I mean, they're precious metals. They're used more and more, and they're not really. It's like real estate or land. It's not really making a lot more of it. So, with that being said, I appreciate y'all watching. Hopefully, I don't run nobody off. Y'all are a great group of people. I know I got I talk to a lot of hardcore people that just love silver and gold, and they hate the banks and don't trust stocks. And I understand that completely, 100%. I mean, they don't have a good track record. They're corrupt. I mean, it's always something in the news. But I mean, listen, I agree, but it's within my risk tolerance that I invest in stocks, and don't mind to have a 10% CD. Listen, a lot of older people on here will say they've got CDs, I'm sure. And my parents, listen, my parents didn't really know what stocks was. I'm really the first generation in my family that has started buying stocks. I mean, I could ask my dad, and I've got my dad invested too a little bit, but they just, in my family in this rural eastern Kentucky, nobody really, I mean, invested in stocks. They might have had a 401k, but they didn't buy individual stocks or just know anything about it, and that's fine. I mean, but they had CDs. Like, I mean, I know I've heard stories of like my pawpaw having a 12% CD. Wouldn't that be amazing right now, putting $100,000 in a 12% CD? That would be awesome. So they had CDs, and but just showing you there's more stuff out there. This is what it's done for me. Hopefully it can do the same for you. And I know, like I said, I'm not a professional. You need to do it based on your age and your risk tolerance. Some people have more time than others. I'm 35. I've got 30 years. If you're 70, you've got 10 or 15 years, and you can't lose your money and expect to come back in 5 or 10 years. You can't do it. So invest based on your age, your retirement plans, and how much time you've got. And like I said, your risk tolerance, of course. But this proves that silver and gold, you can get a return on. The gold bar I bought for $1,100. This is actually these are actually the 10 1 ounce bars, sunshine, silver, I got for $208. So I think that one was around August 8th. And then the 10 ounce bar I got for $206. So they're about the same, within a couple dollars. So I only showed one, but yeah, I love it. I've done good on it. I'm happy. I made money. I've had a return. But it's basically time. It depends on how much time you got, and how much you want to invest, and your risk tolerance. So that's really it, guys. Hope you enjoy my little cheat sheet I made here, and I hope it really shows you. I just kind of wrote it down, and I thought about it today, and when I found those paper, I'm like, man, that's a good little topic to talk about. So hope you all had a good day. It is still Tuesday for about another hour. Hope you all have a good week. Get out there and invest in something. And you're not going to get rich overnight, but just hold on to it. And here in 10, 7, 8, 10 years, you've made money on your investment. So make good choices, and don't be afraid to get on YouTube and look up a video about stocks. That's what I done. About 2014, I really started talking to some people about stocks, and they wasn't hardcore. I wasn't hardcore like drink the Kool-Aid and got all in it. I spent countless of hours, and I still do. There's multiple YouTube channels I watch, and I look at multiple websites, Bloomberg, Market Watch, and I try to follow different stuff and really diversify my information intake, because I never really just watch one channel or another or one source. I watch it from all angles. I think that's the smart thing to do. I never really take in just one source. But I got online and I started learning about basic stock investing. And don't be afraid to type in, I'm 25 years old and want to start investing in stocks. Just keep it simple and go through a lot of stuff, and just start slowly, start small. It does take a while to add up. But looking back now at my 401k and my stock portfolio, I am amazed at what I've made in just 8 years. And I would kick myself in the butt if I went back and didn't do it, because I would have lost out on a lot of money. And I don't do it for myself. I have a family that I want to provide for, and I know you all do too. I do it for them as well. I want to have the best return, safest possible way, and that's what I done. I just got online, started watching countless videos over and over, and watched different things, and read multiple books, and I've got a bunch of books. I wish I had brought them in here, and I love to read. And if you don't read, I'd suggest read. I try to read at least 12 to 20 books a year, and at least, and that's not bad. One book a month, that ain't gonna kill you. And I've got multiple books on coins and investing and everything, but I love to read, and that has really opened my eyes. And I have probably read at least 20 investing books on stocks, and they have all pointed to the same conclusions on stocks. I don't really pick individual stocks. I pick like a ETF, like that Vanguard S&P 500. You've got an average 8% return every year. That's good. I'm happy with an 8% return any day for the year. So you're not going to be making big investments every year. So just keep it simple. Try to learn something about it. Don't just go out and dive in and start buying thousands of dollars worth of stocks you don't know. Make sure you know what it is. Just because it's hot and popular, I have played that game, and I don't want to. I'm not going to go down that road. But I have bought stocks that they're popular everybody's talking about them. Well, you know what? Whenever everybody else is talking about them and you hear about it and you buy in, it's too late. You've already missed that big takeoff. You're at the point where everybody's like, okay, everybody's buying in, we're going to sell, and you lose your butt on it. So I stay away from those. If everybody's talking about it, it's usually not a good ride for you. But sometimes you just got to hold on to them. And I mean, listen, the stock market can be like a roller coaster. I mean, it's up and down. And honestly, the only time you get hurt on the roller coaster is when you jump off. So you kind of have to ride it out sometimes. And it's like the stock market is like it takes the elevator. You take the steps up and you take the elevator down. So it goes up slow, but it can come down really fast. And you don't want to be in a position where you're going to take a big loss. So just be very careful. I mean, it's easy to lose a lot of money in the stock market, so that's why I'm telling you I like it, but you have to know what you're doing. Don't just buy in blind. So just wanted to give you a little warning there, because I have kind of talked about how good it was. So I want to let you know there is a lot of risk, but it's only if you don't know what you're doing. So a lot of research. Just check into it. I mean, go and ask somebody. I mean, there's plenty of places out there that you can go and ask. But guys, that's really it. I've taken enough time, and I'm glad you all have stuck with me to the end here. I have a few more videos coming out in the next few nights, so just stay tuned. I'll show you some more coins. I know there wasn't a lot of coins or silver in this video, but I've got more good videos coming up. I've still got a couple good search videos I'm excited about. So just stay tuned. Hope y'all enjoyed this. It's a little something different. Maybe you got to listen to me on the way to work. And hope y'all have a great day tomorrow. It's Wednesday, hump day. You're halfway there. And just enjoy the ride. Please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have a great night. Enjoy.